make sure you're subscribed to JerCrispy.
What's up, y'all? It shows most does the most. JerCrispy, welcome back to another video. What happened to the Simpsons hit and run? Question mark. Let's see what's going on with this. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow our social media. It's gonna pop on the screen. We is very close to hit 400. I'm trying to hit 400. Probably. I'm not probably gonna hit this 400. And it's crazy that my goals I ain't hit 400. I think I ain't saying it because dude gave me a copy straight on my video and stuff like that. And I ain't saying that was the downfall of my videos not getting jumping. I feel like over time, I think I just need to put more work efforts in myself, like drop crazy. I'm not gonna put dude as a blame. You know, that's inspired. That copy strike expired during like the 23rd or the 24th, like the 23rd or 24th next month. So that's gonna expire. We might celebrate it. we might celebrate it. We might not. I don't know. But yeah, we probably gonna hit 400. If we don't hit 400 by the end of this December, probably the beginning of this year, and we probably will hit 500 by the beginning, probably like midway into 2026. So yeah, for goals, we're gonna set goals for next year when we get to December. We still in November, and next week is Thanksgiving. I know last year, 2 years ago, I did a video for Thanksgiving. I don't know if I'm doing videos for Thanksgiving or not. I don't know. If I do videos for Thanksgiving, then it would probably be the most likely answer. It might be 6 videos or 7. Just depends how I feel. Well, if y'all want videos for Thanksgiving, just let me know. Cause yeah. So let's get
The Simpsons is by far the
on the road to
most
500.
successful TV show of all.
Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share a friend and family. And if you want videos to recommend, go check the Discord.
Time. With 794 episodes and $14 billion in revenue,
Damn.
It has become an absolute empire. It has entire theme park attractions.
Yo, this still like going on as we speaking. Like I know, like I pause like every time because like stuff like this, I just want to experience and stuff before like it get abandoned or like just be gone. I hope this is still going on so we could like do a whole other stuff.
Thousands of merchandise items, music albums, and so much more. And best of all, there are 27 Simpsons video games. And it makes sense because
I played one of the Simpsons games. It's like back in the day, it was like saving the Lisa, what her name was? The baby name was again? I was like playing Bart and Homer and all of them. I've done that play with all the characters just to save the baby from like the doctor, because she took like the diamond crystal from the doctor from here.
Is some of the most valuable IP ever made. But here's the funny thing. The last console title came out in 2007, and there haven't been any mainline Simpsons releases ever since. The crown jewel of these Simpsons games was The Simpsons Hit and Run, which came out in 2003. It sold over 10 million copies and is one of the most iconic video games of.
Hey, we get a reboot of Hit and Run, bro, before GTA 6. Hey, I'll take that over GTA 6.
The early 2000s. I mean, come on, this was GTA for kids whose parents wouldn't let them get GTA, and hopping into the rocket car parked in front of the mansion and jumping the bridge was the highlight of my life. Woo! It's all downhill from here. Anyways, why did a game that sold this many copies fail to receive a sequel? And why was there only ever one other Simpsons console game ever released after this? What happened to the Simpsons Hit and Run and Simpsons games as a whole? This story begins with a pretty boring company, Distinctive Software Incorporated.
Who is this?
Distinctive Software was this little Canadian developer that made quite a few sports titles that you 100% won't recognize, such as...
Yo, bro. Is this supposed to be like 2 females fighting, bro? God damn, the colors look nasty as a mug, bro. Paul Savage and Larry Lunchbucket. What the fuck? Who be naming these niggas their last names? Lunchbucket. Well, imagine just getting you in school, you sitting in the desk like this, and they call a roll. All right, Mr. Williams, Mr. Robinson, Mr. Sinet, Mr. Dennis, Mr. Leonard, Mr. Saint, Mr. Lunch Bucket. Now, who wrote this? It said, no, sir, that's actually my name. Like, that's actually my nickname. Everybody's gonna look at you like, nigga, you is not human. Get out of this class.
4D sports boxing and Grand Prix circuit. But it did pretty well for its time and carved out a niche for itself in the sports game genre.
Okay.
So in 1991, they were approached with a purchase offer from Electronic Arts, leading to the creation of EA's sports division.
EA Sports.
Yes, that one. But as with any acquisition, not every person is going to agree with the new direction of the company. And that's how Radical Entertainment came to be. They got their start in 1991 and would go on to make a bunch of average or below average titles ranging from Mario is Missing to sports games and licensed movie games. On March 11th, 1997, they released Independence Day for the PlayStation, which got a 2 out of 10 from IGN, stating that it had no redeeming qualities. But this marked the first time that Radical worked with a company called Fox Interactive. And in 2000, they did a couple of sports titles with Fox as the publisher, forming a working relationship between the two
I might start playing
companies.
hockey games.
A relationship that
Like,
would
I don't know. For some reason, them hockey games would be looking intense.
lead to the creation of the two greatest Simpsons games ever made. The
Okay.
Night of the Living Treehouse for the Game Boy Advance
Okay.
was not one of them. But it had Mr. Burns as a vampire, who turned to me and led me to play the sponsor of today's video, Watcher of Rebels, and you can
Don't start your stuff.
use
Stop.
guild battles where you combine test, which with success of The Simpsons between 1989 and 2000, Simpsons console games were a logical next step to test the limits of what Radical could do. Keep in mind, the show had been popular for over 11 years at this point.
Right.
But despite its unprecedented success on TV, the same couldn't be said about its video games. They did start out with a bang as The Simpsons arcade cabinet proved to be a massive hit back
That's the game I would play. This the game I played. It was on the It looked like it looked like the Sega Genesis, but it's like a rip. I got it off of TikTok, y'all. I played this game, bro. This the game. I'm glad they showed it.
back in 1991. It was a beat-em-up developed and published by Konami, and I was born in the year 2000, and
Right.
even I played the heck out of this game
2005.
as a kid. Bart Simpson vs. the Space Mutants was released around the same time for consoles and did well both financially and critically. But everything that followed these two was pretty much just garbage. A couple were decent and had cult followings like Bart's Nightmare in 1992, but
Okay.
most were not. By the year 2000, there were 15 Simpsons games, and pretty much all of them, except the two I just mentioned, failed
Jeez.
to do the show any real justice. The oversaturation and poor quality of each title soured the idea of Simpsons video games to many. It was so bad that even the president of Fox Interactive, Steve Bursch, didn't want to greenlight any more because Simpsons games don't sell. He didn't reconsider his stance until Michael Pohl, another bigwig at the company, pushed back on it saying, if you made some good ones, they would. So Fox wanted to give it another shot, this time with their new partner, Radical Entertainment. For whatever reason, it was decided that it would be a Simpsons driving game. A number of companies pitched concepts to Fox, but ultimately, Radical Entertainment's proof of concept won out. The only thing that Radical asked for in return was a bunch of Red Bull, because it was illegal in Canada at the time, so they couldn't buy it. I'm also not kidding. The game was originally pitched as The Simpsons Racing, but Matt Groening, the creator of the show, didn't like the direction because far too many cartoons already had kart racers. Plus, he insisted that two characters should be in the car at the same time, talking to each other to make the show's comedy truly shine. What resulted was The Simpsons Road Rage in the year 2000. Now, The Simpsons Road Rage was my first experience with a Simpsons console game, and while it's by no means as good as the game that this video is about, it's a solid title that was a lot of fun when it released. But, well, it was literally identical to Crazy Taxi, a game that came out just a year earlier. Sega actually would end up suing Fox over it in 2003. Anyways, while the gameplay didn't try to be super unique, a lot of care was put into representing The Simpsons as accurately as possible, something that no other Simpsons game had attempted. Radical brought in the show's actual voice cast for all of the dialogue and kept in close contact with Matt Groening to ensure
That stuff looked fun as hell. Hold on, bro. I might have to get this game, bro. This game looked fun.
everything was as true to the show as possible.
It's hard. I'm gonna buy it off of somebody, or I'm gonna just go to this game world that I got. That we got down here, bro.
Feedback on pretty much every aspect of the game, even down to the nitty-gritty details like what kind of car should Professor Frink drive. They helped to write a bunch of the dialogue, and the voice actors shared their thoughts on the dialogue too. Matt Groening would even playtest the game once each month while the developers took notes. It was fun, it was exciting, it was perfect. But there was a shift in atmosphere partway through development that would shake it all up.
What?
A horrible, tragic event took place in 2001.
Okay.
Took a shit on a disc and sold it at GameStop. It might be more entertaining than The Simpsons wrestling.
Huh?
To say Matt Groening hates
Bro, this game is actually look fun. I don't know, some people game style and your game style is two different things. You gotta realize that. You gotta realize that. You gotta realize sometimes. You gotta realize sometimes that your gaming style and other people's gaming style is not the damn near same thing. I don't know. It was just me trying to form the words, and it was just fucking rambling, blambling all through my mind somewhere. I was trying to form these fucking words. Yeah.
this game is an understatement. The Simpsons wrestling was the first time he ever pulled his name from a game, and he was prepared to remove it from all games if Road Rage didn't pan out. He'd been burned far too many times by terrible games at this point, and he was risking the reputation of his near-perfect IP. Suddenly, check-ins with Radical Entertainment and Matt Groening went from a laid-back, friendly atmosphere to a vicious audit of everything in the game. Even if everyone at Radical knew that it wasn't personal, it still sucked the enjoyment out of the development process and made people afraid that they would ruin their chances. But in the end, the game still got made, so how did it turn out? The Simpsons Road Rage released on November 19th, 2001. The game's levels were all based on different parts of Springfield, with some compromises to make them work better in gameplay. In the default Road Rage mode, you started with 50 seconds on the clock and got more time by playing well. The level continued until you ran out of time, so the goal was to earn as much money as possible. You did this by picking up passengers, each a different character from the show, and taking them to wherever the giant finger points to. On the way, you have to dodge traffic and find the fastest route through the city to get there in time.
Okay.
There was a lot of destructible objects and pedestrians to ram into along the way, which was sometimes—
Boy, that look low-key fun as hell, bro. Trying to get these niggas to their spot quick as hell, saying, hold on.
a side objective for extra cash. At the end of a run, your high score would be saved and added to your overall points earned.
Okay.
The higher your total, the more characters, vehicles, and starting locations you could play with.
Oh, look at the characters. We got Homer, Bart, Marge, Lisa, the grandpa, the drunk dude who always be at the bar. This nigga named Krusty, huh? Yeah, Krusty the clown. Don't know who that is. The only black dude that I know. Even though the Simpsons are black, they really black, so it might be Indian. I don't know. That's old dude. Who? The bartender, the bus driver, the policeman. That's Homer with just a hat on, I guess. That's Phil, huh? Yeah, this gotta be Phil. That's the scientist dude I was talking about earlier, and I don't know who the fuck these two is. And that's the dude who Bart know when Homer know him. So yeah.
The other mode was Mission Mode, which had 10 bite-sized levels that boiled down to touch a bunch of objects. Despite all this, and despite the rose-colored glasses that I look back on this game with today, the reviews were pretty mixed. They went as low as 4 out of 10 from Electronic Gaming Monthly to a 4.6 out of 5 from Nintendo Power. The majority sat around a 6 out of 10 though, as indicated by Metacritic. The game had pretty rough load times, suffered from frame rate issues when lots of cars were on the screen, and looked a bit ugly. It lacked the level polish that Crazy Taxi had, and it didn't take too long until you began hearing repeated dialogue. So ultimately, the game ended up appealing to Simpsons fans more than seasoned gamers. That reflected in the sales, which totaled up to 1.6 million by July of 2006, making it one of the best-selling titles of that console generation, but nothing to gawk at in terms of overall video game successes. Possible. Radical Entertainment wanted to do this sequel, but they didn't want to just make more of the same. So they proposed the Simpsons Hit and Run, which started with a simple question of what if we got out of the car? From there, the concept expanded into an open-world game, allowing you to explore all of Springfield. In other words, Radical was making GTA for kids. The developers knew what they wanted out of a sequel, but they were at the mercy of Fox, who would be funding this new title. The issue was, this new direction would cost a lot more time and money, things that Fox weren't too keen on handing out. They wanted a quick, safe sequel instead of taking a chance on such an ambitious idea, but fortunately, they greenlit it anyways. Which was great, but now a bunch of questions had to be answered. Should Homer be able to jump? How high? How will building interiors work? By exiting the car, the scope of the game had massively increased. And more than just Radical had to accept each answer. The folks from Fox and the creators of The Simpsons all had to agree as well. It got even more complicated, deciding on things like what should Springfield look like because the show doesn't have a canonical map. Locations get moved around depending on what the script calls for, so it was kind of up to Radical's interpretation. On top of that, it can't be so accurate that it isn't any fun. Roads have to be long enough to speed down, and wouldn't it be cool if there were ramps to jump off of? So liberties had to be taken to accommodate Radical's gameplay per square feet philosophy, which means there had to be something fun to do pretty much all over the map. That's how things like the coins, collectible cards, and surveillance wasps came into being. Building interiors, on the other hand, were pretty straightforward, and were partly used to cram in references to the show. According to the game's lead writer and Simpsons superfan Chris Mitchell, there's a reference to nearly every single episode of The Simpsons that aired up until the game's release. This was ensured by having The Simpsons writers review the script, resulting in maximum authenticity. It's even sweeter when you realize that the show's actual voice actors returned again to voice the game's astounding 12,231 lines of dialogue.
Jeez.
A number comparable
that have to be the most longest line in game history, bro. Have to be, right? Have to be.
Again, to voice the game's astounding 12,200.
Yeah, that gotta beat the record of any game out here, bro. If GTA beat it for somehow, some way, I guess.
131 lines of dialogue, a number comparable to a season's worth of The Simpsons. On September 16th, 2003, The Simpsons Hit and Run finally came out. Most of the game revolved around completing story missions. There were 7 missions each in 7 distinct levels, resulting in 49 total missions. You began them by approaching an NPC who would give you an objective, and then you went and did it. They ranged from deliver this item to Lisa at school, platforming in the power plant to smash cameras, or destroying Mr. Smithers' car before it drives off. It never really made a lot of sense. It was just excuses to go and do a bunch of goofy missions until you're suddenly stopping an alien invasion of Springfield. The real beauty in The Simpsons Hit and Run, of course, came from exploring the levels at your leisure, which you could run or drive around. You could attack and run over pedestrians, which knocked them over and made them yell at you. If you needed a vehicle, you could jack any stopped car, or go to a phone booth to spawn in one of your unlocked vehicles.
Damn.
You gained more by progressing through the story and buying them with little coins scattered around the map.
Hands down, this low-key better than the GTA. What GTA I can see? The GTA 4 with CJ was actually a good one. I ain't lying to you. In GTA 5. Well, with that one GTA that everybody didn't like, just, I don't know.
If you had any coins to spare, you could also buy costumes for the character you were playing as. Which, yes, there were multiple characters. Sadly, they all had the same moves, but the different dialogue helped to make up for it. Each level had a staggering number of references, from the big, obvious stuff like the Quickie Mart, Moe's Tavern, and the school, to more obscure things. There's the bunker in Ned Flanders' backyard, the garden in the Quickie Mart, and the Plow King being an actual drivable vehicle. One of my favorite vehicles, in fact, besides the rocket car. These are just a few examples, but the game literally has hundreds of great references to the show, and it was chock full of character and charm. And because of this, the reviews for the game were great. Hit and Run received 8s and 9s across the board, resulting in a Metacritic score of 8 out of 10. Critics were impressed.
Yeah, alright, I see it. This shouldn't have got a sequel to it.
By the accurate representation of the show.
Sunset Drive, too. Sunset Drive shouldn't have got a sequel too. Let me show y'all what I'm talking about, bro. And y'all know what I'm gonna talk. I'm about to show y'all, bro. Come on, bro. Sunset Drive should have got a sequel too, and I'm mad about that shit. Yeah, Sunset Overdrive. I don't know about this game. Hold on. I don't know about this. Know about that. Hey, but just know, later down the line, we will be playing this game. And get a sequel to it. Cause Spider-Man, man, fuck out my face with that bullshit, man. No. Damn, bro. We could have got a Sunset Driver.
And how it adapted GTA's gameplay to something much more kid-friendly. People loved getting to run around Springfield and see everything up close. It felt like the first time that you really got to interact with any of the show's characters in a game too, given how authentic it all was. It was awesome, and so were the sales figures. They've been stated to be between 8 and 10 million copies sold to date. It was an enormous success by pretty much every metric. So obviously, everyone wanted to do a sequel, right? Well, on March 11th, 2003, Fox Interactive was sold to Vivendi Games for an unknown amount. Radical Entertainment was eager to make a sequel to Hit and Run, and the Simpsons team was on board. Vivendi, now that they bought Fox, just had to renew the license for making Simpsons games. That was literally it. All of the stars were aligned, and Vivendi was even given a great deal to make 5 more Simpsons games. So of course, they said no. And this decision killed a direct sequel to Hit and Run and a medieval Simpsons title that Matt Groening had pitched. Vivendi never gave a reason for why they shot themselves in the foot and will probably never have an official answer. But we can speculate.
Imagine later down the line we actually get the Hit and Run too. But I ain't lying to you. That would sell so much stuff, bro. It would sell a lot of things. And then you get it before GTA? Boy, people are gonna play that more than GTA.
It was no secret that at the time,
GTA already delayed, so Fox, if you want to make some cash, or anybody who want to make the Hit and Run for the Simpsons, make you some cash. Like, come on.
Vivendi wasn't doing too hot. In 2003, Vivendi had sold off most of its entertainment subsidiaries to General Electric for billions of dollars. Everything except for Vivendi Games, but that's only because General Electric didn't want it. In 2004, they began a recovery plan, stating that they would offer, quote, a better balanced portfolio of products. This apparently meant getting into the 2006 mobile gaming market, but probably also meant cutting what they saw as fluff. World of Warcraft was making them a lot of money at the time, and the goal was to have more games like this. More infinitely monetizable, infinitely scalable titles, not movie or TV show game adaptations. This was likely why The Simpsons wasn't renewed, but we'll never truly know.
Damn.
But even if they wanted to change their mind, it would quickly become too late, as EA bought the exclusive license to make Simpsons games.
Man, EA! If you want some money, EA, and I'm speaking to EA only, if you want some money, I know you got the money, and you want to make college and all the other stuff, EA. How much money did we, as a unit, as a people? I know we're gonna play Hit and Run sooner or later, but how much a unit, as a company, as a family, you know, that's all of us play EA sports games in general. How much you will actually take from us to get this Hit and Run to come out before late 2039. Don't wait till 2039 and then we be in this mug. Nah, bro. Late 2039. 2039, I'll probably be in my 30s. Shit. Late 30s, actually.
on November 7th, 2005. Funny enough, a Hit and Run 2 was in very early development at Radical Entertainment right before EA's acquisition, with some planned innovative features like connected vehicles that could pull trailers, but it was cancelled once EA acquired that exclusive license. EA's first project was the Simpsons game, released in October of 2007, which coincided with the launch of the first ever Simpsons.
Yo, you know what this low-key remind me of? Yeah, I know I gotta look this up. Yeah, I know I'm gonna be wrong for doing this, but I know I'm gonna be wrong for this. Hold on a second. What the fuck you want? What the images? Yeah, I know I'll be wrong for this, but gotta say how I be done with this one. Hold on, you gotta be y'all don't think I'll be knowing? Man, hold on, son. Man, oh no. Hold on, let me get a better picture than that. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? I know y'all ain't still it. Oh, when this came out? Oh, I think The Simpsons came out before Adventure Time, so Adventure Time might low key too. Maybe I'm running around. I don't know.
Movie. This was a platformer developed by EA's Redwood Shores studio and released across Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, Wii, DS, PS2, and PSP. Surprisingly, it received decent reviews and actually sold quite a few copies, but it struggled to find its own identity and doesn't hold up as well today. Much of its success can likely be attributed to the massive hit of The Simpsons movie, which grossed over $536 million worldwide in 2007. And here's where the story gets a bit weird. Even with The Simpsons game selling over 4 million copies by 2008, this would be the last Simpsons console release ever. EA would then go on to release a series of microtransaction-heavy mobile games, the most notable of which was Tapped Out in 2012. And this game was an insane hit, generating over $200 million in revenue and attracting 80 million downloads over its 12-year lifespan. But on September 26, 2024, EA announced that Tapped Out would be shutting down. The game was removed from app stores on October 31st, 2024, with servers permanently shutting down on January 24th, 2025. They stated that the shutdown was due to declining engagement and a strategy shift to larger-scale experiences that don't require licensed IP, but it was likely due to the license between EA and The Simpsons also being set to expire that same year. And today, there's actually just been a collaboration between The Simpsons and Fortnite, meaning that the gates have opened for potential new Simpsons titles. Without EA holding the exclusive rights, there is hope for something bigger.
Simpson hit and run. We need a Simpson hit and run too. Come on now. Come on, y'all.
On the horizon. But the focus of this video is supposed to be The Simpsons Hit and Run. And while the odds of us getting a sequel to that game are slim to none. It has now been nearly 20 years, that makes me feel so old, since the last Simpsons console title.
Yeah. Damn, I'm 20 years old too. Shit. Damn. God damn.
A lot has changed in that time. Radical Entertainment was eventually absorbed into Activision Blizzard, which is now owned by Microsoft. And Disney acquired Fox and the rights to The Simpsons in 2019, which means that for a hit-and-run sequel to happen, Disney and Microsoft Activision would need to work together to create it. It's not entirely out of the realm of possibilities, but it's unlikely for a few reasons. First, Microsoft's gaming leadership has consistently expressed skepticism about licensed games, as Phil Spencer has emphasized that licensing arrangements come with expiration dates that eventually pull games from shelves, a critical issue for any long-term investment. Second, and perhaps most importantly, Disney's current gaming strategy has fundamentally shifted away from funding standalone console titles in general, in favor of leveraging existing platforms with massive reach. They invested $1.5 billion into Epic Games, and with The Simpsons content content now being in Fortnite, it's clear that Disney views Fortnite as the ideal vehicle for reaching players, rather than bankrolling expensive standalone games that would take years to develop and release. A hit-and-run sequel would be expensive, time-consuming, and would require both companies to maintain a licensing agreement for potentially 5 to 10 years. Given that Disney just shut down Tapped Out, its only major Simpsons game in over a decade, and immediately pivoted to the Fortnite partnership, it's clear that Disney sees limited value in funding original Simpsons games when existing platformers can deliver the IP to audiences at a fraction of the cost. Unless both companies experience a dramatic strategic shift, a true Simpsons hit-and-run sequel isn't looking too hot. But we can still end this video on a good note, because back in August of 2021, something pretty huge happened.
Right.
Hit and Run's entire source code was leaked on 4chan, and thanks to this, a bustling modding scene was able to form around the game 18 years later. Fans have created all sorts of awesome mods. They've combined every level into one interconnected map, created custom levels and multiple mini-campaigns, and there's no shortage of goofy reskin mods. But most impressively of all is a total conversion
Oh, they put Fry in the game.
mod transforming the entire game into Futurama Hit and Run.
Okay.
It's still in
We're gonna have to find that mod so we can play it like that.
development and has been for over 4 years, but they recently came out with a demo. On top of that,
Okay.
a fan, Reubs, documented how he remastered The Simpsons Hit and Run across 10 different videos. It's all really impressive, but unfortunately he can't release it without lawyers knocking at his front door.
Hey, we could go to court together. Hey, let's go to court together. Fuck it. Release the game and we'll go to court together. All of us will stand behind you with this. Alright, y'all. Love y'all to the bottom of my heart. We're on the road to 500 and I'm out.